the 10th tutorial in the series of Final Cut Pro beginners lessons. And this lesson is going to explain the magnetic timeline and connected clips. Use your My First Edit project or follow from here with the completed lesson 9. Click the eye above to access lesson 1, which has the details on how to download the course material. The magnetic timeline lets you quickly assemble and edit without having gaps between your clips. If you're used to working with other video editing software like Premiere and Avid, the magnetic timeline could be confusing to you, but this video will clear that up. iMovie upgraders will be at home with the magnetic timeline, but you'll not have been able to use more than one connected clip. So now you'll be able to see how to create that split screen effect that you've been trying to do in iMovie. The most important thing to know about the magnetic timeline is how other tracks work with it, or to be more concise, how they connect with it. In Premiere or Avid, you'd have been used to tracks being separate and independent. In Final Cut and iMovie, the primary storyline has the other tracks linked to it as connected clips. First, let's see what the magnetic timeline does. Click on the 120 clip in the timeline and drag to the right. It jumps back into place magnetically and attaches itself to 119, so there's no gap left between the clips. To be able to move 120 and leave a gap, you can select the Position tool or click the P key. Now drag 120 to the right. A gap fills the space, and if you delete that gap, 119 and 120 snap back together. Press the A key to re-enable the Select tool. Now let's look at connected clips. The magnetic timeline is known as the primary storyline. You can also add video, audio and stills above that primary storyline as connected clips for things like that split screen effect I mentioned. Let's look at adding some photos as connected clips. I'll use the 3 photos from the download. You could also use stills or video from your computer's photo app, as you saw in lesson 2 importing. Let's connect these above the 120 clip. Click the playhead at the position in the timeline. In the browser sidebar, expose Smart Collections and select Stills. Select the Harbour Bridge photo, press the Q key or the button at the left of the middle menu bar. A pre-selected length of the photo is added above the primary storyline. You'll see that that photo has a smaller aspect ratio than the clip in the primary storyline, so you can still see some of the clip below in the viewer. Make sure the photo is selected in the timeline, and in the inspector, make sure Film Strip is blue, and at the bottom you'll see Spatial Conform. Change that to Fill. The photo now hides the video below. To prove that, with the photo still selected, press the V key, and this disables the photo from view. Press the V key again to re-enable. As the word suggests, connected clips are linked to the primary storyline. This connection point is a minute blue line. If you move the primary storyline or delete it, the connected clip goes with it. So it's important that you know how to change where that link is positioned. If you drag the photo to the left over the 119 clip, now try to move 119, the photo tries to move with it. If you look hard, you'll see that the blue link connecting the photo has moved to 119 when you move the photo. So to link it back to 120 without moving the photo's position, hold the Command and Option key and click the photo above the 120 clip. The blue connection point moves to the place you clicked. And a tip, no matter how many connected clips you have stacked above each other, they always connect to the main storyline and not to the clip below, as you might think. And when you've got a number of connected clips together, you can attach them together so that they become their own storyline with the magnetic effect. Select both the Opera House clips and drag them above the storyline. They both need an aspect ratio change, so select Fill in the inspector, as you did before. Now deselect them in the timeline and you can move each independently. But to keep them together, select both of them and press Command plus G. A grey bar appears above both clips. If you try to move either of them independently, they stick together. Click on the grey bar and they stay together when you move it. The real advantage of this storyline is that you can shorten and lengthen each clip and have it stay as a magnetic storyline. Click on the edit point between the clips and shorten, and watch the magnetic effect. Finally, let's look at stacking connected clips above each other to create a split screen effect. Select and drag 3 photos above the storyline. Position them above each other and make sure that F16 is on top of the stack. Place the playhead over the 3 clips. The F16 photo's got a transparent background, so you're seeing through it to the clip below. Now make sure that the second clip is selected. It should have a yellow outline. Right-click in the viewer and select Transform and move the clip to the right. Select the third stacked clip and move that to the left. Now you'll want to remove those photos by selecting them all. That's Lasso or Command click and delete. We don't need them in the next lesson, which is about audio. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and press the bell.